Hi, friends. Welcome to Enlightened World Network. We provide a meditation every day of the year. Today, Teri Angel and I are doing a meditation excavation. What that means is that Teri and I meditate. We invite you to meditate right along with us, and then we just share with you everything that we're seeing. So thank you for being here. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson. Teri, so glad you're here with me today.
Me too. Good morning. It's a cold one, but we're here.
We've got some snow coming in today. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and get settled into meditation.
Okay.
There we go. So friends, let's just take a couple of cleansing breaths just to slow down our thinking, slow down our breathing. Just get yourself settled comfortably on your chair, or if you're laying down. And we'll go ahead and get ourselves grounded. So we do that by taking a couple breaths, blowing it into our root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. And as you do that, let's watch as that root chakra expands. That root chakra is representative of our comfort and our groundedness, our stability in the world, including our finances, our health. And as we do that, let's watch as intuitively we see roots like tree roots growing out from our root chakra, going down your chair leg, down your legs, and into the heart of the earth. Just going to ground you right in there. Now let's go to our heart space. I'm already seeing Divine Mother and Christ there, Archangel Michael, ready to greet us. Let's go to our heart space, and we're going to take a couple of cleansing breaths. And we're going to slowly just see yourself in that space. Sometimes they stop us at the front door. Last time we spent lots of time at the front door. It looks like today we get to just go on in. So take a moment, prepare the heart space, because it looks like that's where we're going to be working from today. Sometimes that's using your intuition or your imagination, just sweeping the floor, cleaning up a little bit, removing anything that's in there that no longer serves you, maybe bringing something else in that does. So Teri, while we're preparing our heart space, would you please ask in the spiritual divinity?
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to all the guides that help us every day in our lives and help us when we do these meditations with all of you that are listening. So first, let's call in those angels to surround us and focused on the heart. Just see them as they come in and feel that tug on your heart that they want to be acknowledged. Archangel Raphael is our healing angel. Whatever form that looks like for you, it might be physical, it might be spiritual, or mental, or emotional. But we thank you, Raphael, for bringing in the energy of air. And then Archangel Michael is our guardian. So as you go through that door, he's right there, making sure that only love goes into that room where you're going to be sitting and doing your work. So Michael brings in the energy of fire and always is there to protect us, to take anything that we need to give to him, anything we need to release. Archangel Gabriel coming in with the energy of water. And Gabriel brings clarity. Gabriel helps us to understand things more fully. So as we're working in our heart center, he'll help us to connect in with our pure, unconditional love that's there, our home, our soul, right in the center of our being. Archangel Uriel comes in with the energy of the earth to help us ground and balance. Thank you, Uriel, that we can feel that centered energy and we can know this is a safe place for us to do this work. So these 4 beautiful angels are surrounding us, holding us, helping us to connect in with our higher self. So let's go there. Just envision that your energy is floating upward to a higher dimension. And we want to call in Divine Mother to help us to see more clearly and help us to feel held and nurtured. We're asking Christ to be at the very center of all of this that we're doing today. Help us to know the touch of the Master. And we ask, of course, our Creator to oversee all of it. And we always give honor and glory to God, whatever form you choose to call that highest being that exists. We ask any ascended masters, angels, loved ones to be present to help us today to do this important work of going inside, going inward to our heart, the Anahata, our beautiful soul center. So let's sit with that. Just let your heart open more and more as you feel the different forms and shapes that are in the room, the angels, the masters, divinity. Open up to the power that's here.
Thank you, Teri.
Almost like somebody turned a light on inside the room. There's such brightness that's coming forward right now. I'm not sure, there's some, I think it's an angel that's just kind of hovering with that light. Yeah, it's definitely an angel. I don't know if it's Metatron maybe, because the light's big.
I'm hearing yes to Metatron, but it's interesting because that isn't how I normally see him.
He's actually funny today. I've never seen Metatron funny. Raziel must be somewhere nearby, but Metatron was showing me the headlamp that he's got on. That's the bright light that I was seeing. He's going to help us excavate today, he says. Right.
So, Teri, what I'm seeing is humorous, which normally our meditations aren't humorous, but not that they're not lighthearted and full of joy, but this one's actually humorous. So what they started showing me, I think Disneyland has one, several different amusement parks have one, but when you're sitting in the water ride, and you're sitting, it's like the massively big, almost like an inner tube that holds like 10 people in your party, and you're going down the river. In that's what they showed me. And so we're in this ride, and as many people that are watching this and doing this meditation along with us can fit on the ride, or you can have your own individual one with your guides. but they were showing me, and like they're laughing, like the guides are with us and they're in the raft with us laughing. And then, you come to a waterfall and it's like, oh yeah, that was 2022. Okay. And, but we're just observing it and riding on top of it. We're not in the water. We're not participating, we're witnessing, if that makes sense. But it's like it's showing us we don't have to believe that we're in the midst. It's like we've said several times, it's like you're watching it on a TV show, but that's what you're witnessing and not having to fully participate. Harry, can you see that ride that we're on?
I do. And Raziel is definitely present. He's just kind of being a little, I don't know what the word is, but he's teasing everybody that's on the ride. He wants us to really laugh today. He wants that lightness of the energy.
Yes, I'm reminded. I, for one, just take myself way the heck too seriously.
Yeah, he told me I've been working too hard, so I've got to get in the inner tube. Like, okay. All right, I will let myself drift away.
So, friends, see if you can feel into this. Feel the water, the spray on your face, and the bouncing of being in that raft. Teri, I'm sure you've been to Disneyland or Disney World, and when you go through, like It's a Small World, and you see the different vignettes.
Yes.
Going by you, that's what I'm seeing, is not those vignettes, but different vignettes that happen in the real world, the 3D world. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Now they're having us listen to the music that's playing. And I'm hearing It's a Small World.
Oh, nice. Sorry.
That's all right, because it really is a small world. We think of it as so huge. But in reality, it's just the oneness. That's all it is. All this other stuff that we think is so big and so important. It's just background noise. The real world is inside our hearts.
So it looks like this raft that we're on can stop at any of these vignettes. And if you wanted to stop and get off at any of these vignettes, you could. But I think that's the option we get all the time, whether it's getting caught up. And the one I'm seeing is like the COVID vaccines. If folks want to get off and get into the depth of that, they can. Or if you want to just stay as a witness, you can. It's up to us how much we want to get into any particular drama-filled event or time.
Yeah, it really is. There's nothing forcing us to participate in any of the traumas and dramas of life. It is a choice. I feel the raft is moving very slowly, Ruth. I'm not getting a lot of traction. Like we're supposed to just be enjoying this ride. And that really is life. We're supposed to be enjoying the ride. But we get on that hamster wheel and think we have to go faster and faster. We really don't.
So, Teri, I'm looking to see who all's in the raft with us, and I'm looking in particular at Divine Mother and at Christ. And if I key in on either one of them, I can hear them speaking. And if I choose, it can be a learning moment for me. And I'm thinking that is so much like life that, as we said, you can choose to get into the drama, or you can keep your eye on your spiritual divinity and use the learning opportunities that they give us. Every time I open my heart to them, they teach me something. No matter what's going on around me.
Exactly. There's always more to learn. That's one of my favorite sayings. The more I learn, there's more to learn. And it's just never ending. There's so much that's so comprehensive to really grasp this thing called life.
The more I look at this raft, the larger it gets.
I think you just read my mind.
All right, you saw that too.
I saw Metatron where he had the headlamp on. Now he's standing there like with a piece of paper and pen in his hand and like checking the list. Who's on the raft? Who still wants to join in on the raft? And everybody's welcome. It's big enough. It can hold whoever wants to come in today.
And I can see other rafts as well. It's not just ours. And the different rafts have different folks on the rafts, like different, like this one that I'm looking at has different ascended masters that are doing the teaching. I wonder if different days we get to choose which raft we want to be on.
Good point, Ruth. And maybe does each raft take us to a different lesson? I'm getting a yes on that. Kind of feel like we're on the compassion raft today. See lots of love. I even see like this, the seats that we're sitting on in the raft are in the shape of hearts. Reminds me of Mary with her hearts.
Interesting. I was talking with somebody the other day about the dark night of the soul. She was going through one and had sort of put aside her outward going ministry as she explored her own dark night of the soul. And certainly when life gives you those opportunities at times, that's where you go. And I think we're here to do that exploring. But I wonder if the dark night of the soul is like one of those vignettes you can just stop at and get off for a while. Do your exploring, and then when you've learned what you need to learn, come on, get back on the raft and keep going.
Hearing it, we'll intuitively know which raft to get on. Whatever is needed to explore in our lives, we can find a raft for that. Whether that's more love, more understanding, even more of the life lessons, the experiences we go through. I'm seeing there's a raft for people that have experienced loss recently. There's the grief and working through that energy of grief on a raft.
So my mind, Teri, goes to who's steering the raft? Are we each steering our own raft?
Feels like we have guides. I'm seeing definitely Raziel working on this raft that I'm on and you're on here. This one's all about compassion and just staying in the energy of joy, staying uplifted, no matter what it might look like, turbulent waters, to not have any fear about where we're going in the raft. I see Azrael, he's guiding those who are on the grief raft.
Mm. I see lots of helper angels on that raft.
And I'm even seeing a medical raft. I just saw Raphael with his doctor coat on. So whatever is needed, you can find that guide and you can go have that experience to just let yourself immerse in the energy of whatever is needed, whether it's love, healing, working through your grief. There's a guide, there's angels, there's lessons that you can get into to fully comprehend what you're going through at any given moment.
Teri, I just looked down and in my hand are unlimited tickets to the different rafts. And they actually say on them compassion, grief, love, misery. There's total abundance in this. So I would say if we wanted to switch rafts several times a day, you could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've ever been to one of the entertainment parks, you know that you can repeat the rides. You can get done and get back in line and go through it again and again. Or you can just mill around the park and say, oh, what appeals to me here? What do I want to experience next? So whichever is the most appealing to you to get on a raft, just go find that one. And they're different colors. This is what I love. I'm seeing all these different colors that are coming up. I wonder if we bump into each other, Ruth.
Like bumper cars.
Oh, bumper cars. Yeah. Yeah, like maybe the compassion raft goes over to where the grief raft is.
Yeah, I see that. It's not like bumper cars, but it's like it goes up next to it and you can move from one to the other. So I just saw that some folks from the compassion one walked over, got onto the grief one. That's cool.
It is.
They just showed me an empath one, which was fascinating because when I put myself on the empath boat, the raft, all of a sudden I just felt overwhelmed with everybody else's emotions. It's like, okay, I went off the empath one, please. Can I get back on a different one?
Feels like it needs to have a bubble over it.
Ooh.
We'll send Michael to the empath raft.
Okay, so what they just showed me was from the empath boat, you can either stay in that space of just overwhelming, sucking up everybody else's energy, or you could choose to go to a different raft and sort of channel that empath energy to like the compassion. And so when I went from the empath boat to the compassion one, then feeling those energies of loving and caring and helping each other rather than just being splayed wide open for whatever came, but channeling that empathic energy, I guess. So Teri, I'm seeing this place now where there's all of these rafts docked and there's nobody on the rafts. So I want to know, where did these folks go? Or did they all go onto different rafts? Why am I seeing this? I can tell folks have been on these rafts.
Mhm.
There's like, the litter, the little, the used tissue, the soda cup kind of thing. So folks have been on these rafts. Where did they go? So Teri, I was asking, are these rafts empty now? Because the folks that were in them have now transitioned out of body.
That's a good point. Do our tickets only go for a certain length of time? And then we're moving on to another dimension, another form of energy. Can we read out for one of the compassion or grief or one of the other rafts?
Well, I'm hearing that these are unlimited tickets.
Okay.
So we can write it as long as we want. But when we're done, it's like, this is a classroom. This is right. This is where these learnings take place. And when we're done with these learnings, then we can move on. You said to a different dimension, and I'd say yes.
Mhm.
I am reminded that even when folks are no longer in these 3D bodies, as spirits, they remain alive, vital, vibrant, and continue learning and growing in the ethereal realm, which I guess is just another way of saying in a different dimension. But the learning continues just differently.
Yeah, I'm hearing that we never stopped learning. And the more we're open to it, the more we're going to be shown. Seeing that we're all receiving a gift from Metatron on our raft, the compassion raft, we're all getting a rose. They're roses of different colors. Mine's red. Ruth, do you have a rose?
Yeah, mine is multicolored. I've seen some roses, pictures of roses. I don't even know if they really exist, where they've got like yellows and pinks and reds. They're so many different vibrant colors. That's what mine looks like. So I'm being shown, Teri, this really interesting vision. A friend of ours' mother passed away, and her funeral was actually yesterday. And I am seeing her in spirit form, looking a little tired, like it's been a journey, but she's singing in a choir. She's singing in an angelic choir. And I wonder if this talk about different dimensions this morning isn't about the different dimensions between living in the 3D and living in the ethereal realm.
Feels like our raft just slowed down. It feels more like now, like we're not on a moving river or moving body of water, but we're just sitting peaceful. And isn't that what happens when we go into our heart? We can just sit peacefully.
Yes, it feels like this meditation is one of observing and allowing.
You know what it reminds me of is I'm looking at all the rafts. It's like at sunset out on the water. Sometimes the boats will just come to a stop and anchor in and just watch that beautiful sunset. It feels that peaceful right now with all the rafts. Like we're just supposed to absorb that energy, absorb the beauty of being there.
The energy is incredibly calm.
Almost like nobody wants to make a sound. It feels like it would disturb the very peaceful energy and the silence. There's even children on some of the rafts, but they're just being so reverent with what's happening.
So, Teri, I'm hearing that this is a good place for us to leave folks
Mhm.
if they want to stay in the raft, stay in this space of peace and stillness and calm.
Yeah, it feels like a really good way to just step away from anything that's a spin in your world and just be. Just allow that energy to provide the calm that it's there for as long as you want. There's no time. And just take your time with it to enjoy and to let your heart come to a good place.
Well, thank you, Teri. And with that, we'll go ahead and say our goodbyes.
Ah, so beautiful.
That one feels like a good one to journal or draw. There's a lot of visuals on that one.
That was actually where the blog went last night, that the angels bring a message every night, and they had us in our heart and in our heart centers to stay there. Thank you, Ruth. This was just what I needed today.
Perfect. All right, friends. So much love to each and every one of you. Take good care. We'll see you soon.
Hi, everyone.